you are the number one most important relationship in your life. Yeah. And if you're saying yes to all these things that are no's, like you're not going to be in alignment, you're not going to get the opportunities, you're not going to get the good clients, like you're not going to find the love you want. Like it's just so much better when you're in alignment.
Well, and also, like I learned this from one of my clients. She always says when someone tells you no, like let's say you told me no, like you were like a no for me. My response is not bitterness. It's thank you for taking care of yourself.
Yes. I am a human design expert. I have been living this experiment for the last 4 years. I've lived the most magical life since I've learned this modality, and I became so obsessed that I was like, I have to help other people with that.
Hey, I'm Taylor Davis. Welcome to Wildly Satisfied. I hope you enjoy the show. Okay, we're back, and we were talking, like I said, about the human design, feminine energy. We're just gonna dive right in because we could talk forever, and we actually have timers to make sure we don't talk forever because these series need to be smaller. So here we go. We're gonna talk about yourself and not self. Really quickly, what that means is human design has a built-in element to tell you when you're in and out of alignment. We have feelings that we're gonna follow. And we're actually going to listen to them.
Yes.
So the right decision for you versus not the right decision. So you already learned about your authority. By the way, there are many other authorities. I just wanted to kind of drop that in from the last episode. We can dive into those if you guys do have questions. Under every episode, there is a Q&A little form. So you're welcome to dive that in. We can do a follow-up series.
Yeah.
But let's talk about like the self and not self. When you make decisions that are not your authority, or like you're like, oh, I'm not following this. I'm not in my feminine energy. I'm doing what someone else is telling me versus what I know is right based on my authority. It takes you out of your feminine, and then it puts you in you're not self-themed. So let's go over this for manifestors, the self and not self theme.
So manifestors are the way that I verbalize it is alignment or out of alignment.
Yeah.
You're on your path or you're off your path.
Yeah.
And with manifestors, when you're in alignment, you're going to experience peace. And peace is really like for manifestors, every type has to wait. And we're going to get into that in the next episode as far as your strategy. But manifestors, they're waiting for inspiration. And when they get the download to go do something, they instantly have the energy to go do it. And when
they're initiators.
They're initiators, yeah. And when they're not using their strategy, which I'll keep that elusive because we'll talk about it next, when they're not using their strategy, they're going to be angry. And so when they are in alignment and they're using their strategy, they're using their authority, then they're going to be at peace to go do whatever it is that you're inspired to do.
Yeah.
So peace is a signature theme. So if you're a manifestor and you're I always say, like, where are you experiencing the most peace in your life? And where are you experiencing the most anger?
Yeah.
Because anger, there's nothing wrong with anger. My sister's a manifestor, and she was such an angry kid. And I used to make so much fun of her for it because she would just like her face would get so red and she'd just throw tantrums because the poor thing wasn't in the right environment. And it was so sad. And like human design was really created with kids in mind so that parents understand these different ways of different strategies and authorities. But the anger, there's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes anger is a catalyst to peace.
And actually, if you think about it, sorry, this just dropped in. I was like, if you think about it, that's why so much of like women, I'm going to say the women, but the feminine is so angry. It's because for so long we've been conditioned into somebody else's strategy, someone else's authority, someone else's way of being. And it's like, that's why there's so much. And here's the not self themes coming in for the feminine. That's why there's so much bitterness, frustration, and anger. Is because we have been in somebody else's disappointment. We have been in. I always forget that one. I'm sorry about that, guys. We'll just get into that in a sec. She's really good with that type. That one's more of a that's
reflectors.
Her. Reflectors. That's not my area of expertise. They're newer though. Anyway, all that to say, I feel like that is why we have so much of the like sacred feminine rage and like the bitterness and the frustration is because we have been operating in a way that is so different than what we're supposed to be.
Totally.
And so welcome guys, like welcome ladies. You can dive into what you're actually meant to be by noticing these things in your body. So manifestors, peace, not self is anger.
Well, and I love that you bring that up, because I always say some less talked about paths to the feminine are through grief, rage, and anger. And women, there's this sort of societal thing where it's like an angry man is okay, an angry woman is not.
Yep.
And they're all just emotion. Like, emotions are just energy in motion, regardless of your human design, if you're an emotional authority or not. Like, women experience emotions, and everyone does. And if you're suppressing them, that's not good. And then if you're directing your anger, if I'm directing my anger at you, like, fuck you, blah, 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 like, that's not good.
No.
But that's the only way it's not good in my mind.
Yeah, there just needs to be a space for you to let it out. And that's where you get into like being able to have sacred containers to allow that, and then throw the temper tantrum, do the thing, let it out, and then you can alchemize it and turn it into something powerful. And then you feel
so much better, because when you let that anger out, especially as a manifestor, then you're going to experience peace. And there's a lot of manifestors who have so much suppressed anger.
Yeah.
And it needs to come out, because it's eventually going to come out with a vengeance.
Yeah.
But anger is just like, I always say, it's like, woo, 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 like you're off your path, like let's get back to peace, like feel it all, and then let's get back.
I love that. Okay, so manifestors. For projectors, I guess
you
I can
tell projectors.
I'll do that one. Yeah, okay. So for projectors, bitterness is how I thought it was frustration, because words are so important. The more you listen to, like with me specifically, words, nuances are in words. You gotta run with them. So for me, I always thought it was frustration in my body. It was bitterness. So when I am in alignment, right, I feel successful.
And how does that feel for you?
It feels like, you know how when you accomplish something and you're like, oh yes, I got it done, like that, yes, you want to like fist pump in the air. It's that feeling.
Okay.
And but that can come from not accomplishment, because I want to be clear about that. You don't have to accomplish things to feel successful.
Yeah.
That's also a hustle bro way I'm not like into. I noticed that, like, okay, for example, I'm a 4/6 splenic projector, right? When I get people together and they become friends, I'm like, fist pump, yes. I'm like, yes, okay, you're friends. I feel successful because they're connecting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, successful interaction accomplished. Like, that's how it is. Or like, oh, I just filmed something, I was creative, and then I'm able to like hand this filming off and give it to somebody, and then I feel successful that I created that thing, and then I'm on a high. And then I also feel successful again when it's like out and about in the world. Like, there's parts to it and you can get really nuanced in like the gates and the channels and things like that. There are certain parts where I'm like, oh, I know that I don't feel successful because I don't have this gate, so I need to go to somebody else to like, for example, I'll just do this really quickly, is I have the gate of starting, but not the gate of finishing. So I can feel successful in the moment and be like, oh, I'm going to take filming, for example, like this, right? Filming and audio recording. I can have a day as a projector when you have that energy and it rushes through you and you're like, okay, cool, sit down, film this. I feel so successful that I started this project and I did it. And I'm like, cool, I filmed, amazing. But then I don't have the gate of finishing, and then I feel bitter because the thing is not finished. So I have to find someone who has the gate of finishing to finish it, and then I feel successful again because they finished it, and then I get to put it out in the world, and then I feel successful again. And then people recognize me, and we'll get into what that strategy is. People recognize me and then ask me for advice, and that's for the invitation, and then I feel successful again. So it's like when you can really hit on it, it's so powerful.
Well, and I think that is really important to say, that projectors, like, you don't have access to builder energy.
No.
And so having a generator or manifesting generator on your team, hiring a VA, I think that because of the solopreneur sort of a thing, it's like we have to do everything ourselves. And like in the beginning of your business, when maybe monetarily you're unable to do stuff, although trades are magical.
I was just about to say that. I was like, but is it really? Is that a masculine sort of way of doing things? Is the solopreneur mentality that we've been conditioned into? Because everyone's like, I got to do it, I don't have the money. I'm like, do you know how many amazing women are around you that are like, oh, I'm a VA, can I do this in exchange for this? And then there's the co-creation and collaboration energy that's naturally feminine, and it's like, can we just lean into that, please, and stop leaning into the solopreneur fucking lower, like it just keeps us small for so long, and I'm tired of it.
I agree, and I'm glad that we brought this up because I have utilized the power of trades. It's like I do think that's kind of the way of the future. Like eventually money is not going to be a thing. Like, and we're going to be trading energy. We're going to be trading, skills and all of the things. And when two is better than one.
Yeah.
And so you can get more accomplished.
Yes.
You're a starter, you're a finisher, let's fucking go.
Yeah. Let's trade our knowledge and art coming together to be able to create the things. And I just fucking love that.
Yeah.
I want to, so because I want to make sure we go to this part, I definitely want to do the, obviously, generator and mani-gen. I want to talk, before we move on to reflectors, I want to talk about the difference between success and satisfaction. So describe, because I love this.
It is so good.
It's so good. Describe what it feels like as a generator / mani-gen.
So generators and mani-gens, when we are in alignment, we're going to feel satisfaction. And the way that I feel that, it's like orgasmic. It's turned on. It's the sacral center is satisfaction, pleasure, sensual energy, tasting, smelling, touching, feeling, hearing. So satisfaction in the mundane, satisfaction. This is satisfying. Like my whole body is lit up right now because of this. And
I'm feeding off that energy, by the way. I can feel it. I don't have it defined, so that I can feel it from her. But yes, go ahead.
Well, and it's just like the simple things, like washing the dishes and feeling the water on my hands. And it's very feminine in the sense of like the eros of life, and just like, what am I tasting, smelling, touching, hearing? How can I romanticize my meals? How can I romanticize my showers? And the more that I'm in that satisfaction, the more magical life is. And so satisfaction is just, I like to call it following the ooze. It's just like, ooh, I get to do this, ooh, I get to do that. And it's in response to the environment, and senses are really important. And so many women are desensitized.
Yeah.
We're not smelling our food. Like I get crazy with it. I'm like,
You're
like I'm literally orgasmic as I'm eating my food.
Well, we're desensitized from it because we're disconnected from our body. And
Exactly.
our body is what experiences our senses.
Yes.
And so I love that.
So the really, like I get crazy with it. Like when I'll smell cumin and I'll be like, just like breathe. It's life. It's life force energy. It's magic. And then when we're not in alignment, we're gonna be frustrated. Yeah. And frustration shows up when you've said yes to something that's a no, or you're trying to push, force, or make something happen. And so just like in the last episode where I talked about the saying yes to that girl and then being like, actually no, because I'm frustrated. And here's the thing, we're so conditioned to say yes to everything.
Yep.
Yes, 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 yes.
Not what we need.
No, and exactly. And so when you say yes to something that's actually no, a lot of it's from people pleasing. Oh, I say yes because I don't want to hurt your feelings. But the thing is, people can pick up on energy. If I'm frustrated, I used to do hair, and there was a client that I had, my best client ever. Most money, followed all directions, showed up every 6 weeks, and I was shifting to something new. And I told her, I was like, I can't, like, unless you want to do what I want to do, I can't be your hairstylist anymore. And she got so upset. And this was before I even knew human design. And I literally remember using these words. I was like, Gretchen, you don't want me doing your hair when I don't want to do your hair. Like, you're going to feel that frustration. Yeah. You deserve to go to someone who's going to be a better fit for you. And so this is what I say a lot of, like, your frustration, people feel it. And then people internalize stuff. And they're like, what did I do? What? She hates me. Oh my God. And it's like, no, you just didn't follow your body.
Can I share something too? Because I work with mani-gens and generators. Wildly satisfied. I mean, it's for projectors and everybody, but like, my main clients are like mani-gens and generators. Yeah. What I notice when you're out of alignment is your body seizes.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like, that's the physical representation of, like, I'll ask a question, and eventually, like, something, when they get frustrated, they'll be like, okay. And like, there's just this, like, it's like you hold your breath. Yeah. You can just see the tightening in your body.
Contraction.
It's a contraction. And I'm like, oh, no. Yeah. That's a no for you.
Yeah. Well, and that's something to pay attention to. The contraction, are you shutting down? Are you open and enveloping? And it's just like, oh yes, like, this is life. Yeah. And we need to be more in that. Yeah. And we can't, like, yes, we need to pay attention to other people's feelings. Like, don't be a jerk, right? But like, we also have to honor you are the number one most important relationship in your life.
Yeah.
And if you're saying yes to all these things that are no's, like, you're not going to be in alignment. You're not going to get the opportunities. You're not going to get the good clients. Like, you're not going to find the love you want. Like, it's just so much better if you're in alignment.
Well, and also, like, I learned this from one of my clients. She always says, when someone tells you no, like, let's say you told me no, like you were like a no for me. My response is not bitterness. It's thank you for taking care of yourself.
Yes.
Thank you.
I love that you bring this up.
Yeah.
Because I say that to people all the time. Thank you for saying no. Thank you for honoring your body.
Yes.
Because we don't hear that often.
No.
And I used to hate being told no because I internalized it. I was like, oh, you hate me, you're rejecting me, blah, blah. But it's like, no, I'm not a match for everyone, nor do I want to be.
Yeah. Let's also say, so I want to say this really quickly. So I want to say this about success and satisfaction. So someone asked me, they were like, what's the difference between success and satisfaction? And also, did you notice that every like person's self-name except for projectors is a feeling?
Yeah, I know. That's why.
Projectors is the only one that's not a feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, success is a feeling, but it's not like peace. It's not, you know, those things. I always say to people, when you're a generator or a mani-gen, when you feel when you feel satisfied, you get success.
Yeah.
When you are a projector, when you feel successful, you feel satisfied.
I love that.
And I love that we like complete each other in that way, in an interesting, like, opposites. We are opposites, but in the best reflective way. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that part's just absolutely amazing. And then tell me about reflectors, because I want to make sure that's in there as well.
Yeah, reflectors. So when you're living in alignment, you're going to experience surprise and delight. And I remember I went on a date with a reflector once, and I was like, what does that mean to you? Like, I don't get it. Like, how does surprise and delight feel?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you know, I'll go into a gas station, and then the guy will have this thing on his hat, and then I'll say something about it, and then he'll have a conversation, like, surprised and delighted because these random things are happening. And that's kind of how he explained it. And I feel like reflectors, because they're sampling everything, and like, it's almost like everything is new. Not that everything is new, but it's almost like the way that I feel that it would be is the surprise and delight of life of, ooh, this thing, ooh, that thing. And just being when you're in alignment, that's what's going to happen for you. And then when you're out of alignment, you're going to be disappointed. And disappointment, as far as probably the energies that you're sampling, the people that you're around, the environment, like, environment is so important for reflectors.
Yep.
And reflectors have a unique 28-day cycle, and it's based on the moon. And so it's really your lunar being. So track the moon, track your moon cycles, track your own personal cycle, like cyclical living, cyclical, however you say, is so important for every woman, but especially reflectors, because they're such cyclical beings. You're never going to feel the same every single day. And so that's probably where the surprise and delight comes, of accepting that and being like, ooh, I'm surprised and delighted that I have so much energy today. Ooh, I'm surprised and delighted that I'm feeling these emotions. Ooh, I'm surprised and delighted by whatever.
It's also where, like, consistency is not going to be your friend.
No, not
especially
at all.
for reflectors and projectors, like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And then even, like, we can get into this later, but mani-gens, they need they need variety in order to remain consistent. Whole other topic. But what is the not self for a reflector then?
Disappointment.
I think we all know how that feels.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just not honoring, not being in the right environment, not honoring themselves, not honoring their 28-day cycle. The reflectors are interesting because they have for both their strategy and their authority, it's wait 28 days. And when I first saw that, I was like, man, it must suck to be a reflector. But reflectors are magical, and there's just so many nuances with them, but not a lot of information out there. But if you're a reflector, definitely comment below, because I'm working on a course with reflectors, and it's been like I magnetized so many of them, so I feel like it's part of my work to support them in learning their 28-day cycle.
I love that. I feel like the more you know how to navigate when you're in and out of alignment, like I definitely know, if there's a bitterness feeling, there's something I need to be aware of. I need to look at it. I need to tweak it. And then I shift quickly back into my feminine.
Yep.
And I say that not getting like how do I drop into my feminine? I shift quickly back into what I'm supposed to be. And then I honor where I'm at.
Yeah.
And my masculine energy starts to honor it too. And suddenly I'm not like having to like fight with my masculine and things like that too. So there's just, what is the right decision for you? And I don't mean right and wrong. I mean like in alignment and out of alignment, what you're meant to do, because the more you're in this and the more that you are able to go based on the peace, you know, the satisfaction, the success, the surprise and delight, the more you're able to do that, the more opportunities will come to you, the more the things that you are meant to be, the more you'll be happy and excited in your feminine, receptive flow, open, playful. Like that's what the world needs. It's a very beautiful energy to be in. And so, and other people might not understand it. The masculine might not fully understand it. They're not meant to understand it. They're just meant to experience it and stop trying to explain everything to us. So it's a whole other topic. But we're actually going to get into natural receptivity in the next episode, because that is where your strategy comes in.
Yes.
And so, yeah, let's we'll see you in that next episode.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for listening to this Wildly Satisfied production. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we would love it if you would share it with someone that you love, leave a review, or come tag us on social media at Wildly Satisfied.